Okay, I hope I'm audible to everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bharadwaj. I'm from Fluxgen Sustainable Technologies. In short, Fluxgen is a company that was founded in 2021 by Mr. Ganesh Shankar. We're a Bangalore-based startup that focuses on water tech alone. We help industries and commercial facilities reduce water consumption, and we do this by using the latest technology that is available. The main problem we naturally would address is the impending water crisis. This is actually a quote given by our CEO himself. If climate change is the shark, water is its teeth, the first thing that attacks. So we effectively help in measuring water. And what I would say is what can be measured can be managed. And what can be measured with a lot of granularity can be managed even better. So as you can see, like a lot of industries in Chennai have faced complete shutdown. And in fact, one of the dairy plants we've worked with in Maharashtra has faced a shutdown for just 18 days. But within those 18 days, this is in the Nagpur side, Vidarbha area. Within 18 days, they lost 4 of their main customers because you can't stop selling and you can't stop producing. So because of that, they had a severe business continuity risk. And again, if you see, Bangalore wastes nearly 50% of water supply from Kaveri water. So there are a lot of water problems across most of India. And I think everyone has covered that in detail, like water stress, water depletion, drought risk. And that is not the only water risk. Even coastal flooding risk, cyclone risk, everything comes under water risk. And we try our best to address all these issues. So when I come to the financial issues, the main thing is obviously the increased cost of water. Not every place has groundwater that can be extracted. So everyone goes to tankers. Everyone gets, for example, in Maharashtra, MIDC will supply water to the industries. For example, in Karnataka, KIED will be supplying water to the industries. And same thing, SIPCOT in Tamil Nadu, and I can go on. So everyone has to pay some amount per kiloliter or per ml of water they consume, and that just increases their costs. Second is this phrase called the true cost of water. Yeah, okay, we buy water and the water supply comes in, but nobody understands the energy costs, which is actually how much the water costs. So you treat the water, you send it to a cooling tower to cool it down. And also, for example, if it's a distillery, they have to boil the water. And there's a lot of, energy costs in the back end that are unaccounted for when you say cost of water. And of course, it does come under energy cost, but there is an underlying cost for the water you're using as well. And finally, one big thing that is coming up right now, a lot of listed companies in the SEBI listed companies have taken initiatives to have zero liquid discharge by 2030. So we try to, when we go to any company, these are the problems that they tell us they face. And now if I go a bit more in detail, one is the CPCB guidelines. You need to have your effluent water from an industry coming out between 6 to 8.5. And you need to have these other parameters. For the sake of time, maybe I'm not going to go into these details. But again, these are just a few things mentioned here. But the actual guideline from CPCB has almost 18 to 19 parameters for quality, and that includes microbes as well. Second, coming to BRSR. BRSR is a form of reporting that every listed company in India has to send to SEBI. This includes all their sustainability, all their CSR initiatives, and how much they're doing for energy savings, how much they're doing for water savings, how much they're doing for air quality control, solid waste management. So everything related to sustainability has to come within BRSR. So this is one more compliance thing that they have to do. And finally, CGWA. CGWA has the final say in terms of compliance for water. And any industry that draws more than 100 kiloliters of water per day from an aquifer will have to install a digital telemetry with piezo sensor in their facility so that they can monitor it. And this is a mandate by CGWA, and unfortunately it's not been strongly enforced yet. And the only two states which are doing it actively right now are Maharashtra and Karnataka. And now Haryana has picked it up. And again, like each manufacturing sector will have its own set of compliance standards that they'll have to follow. And this applies to smart cities as well. So if you take any large city, they'll have their own smart city initiatives for managing their resources. So what Fluxgen essentially does is a complete end-to-end water management system. And how we do it is we install, like Milind sir mentioned, flow meters to start with, water level sensors, water quality sensors, groundwater piezo sensors, after doing a detailed site survey of any location we go to. And from there, we map out a complete water balancing diagram for any location. And based on the data we collect from every single point, we have data coming in every 2 minutes with the help of our IoT sensors. And based on that, we can identify complete patterns. And in the back end, we can easily identify any anomaly, and all that has been automated. And within a second, the plant manager or the building manager or the BMS system will immediately get an alert saying there's a sudden reduction in flow, there's a sudden reduction in water pressure, or this tank is losing water, or the pH has gone above 10, you need to dose it with HCl. All those alerts will be received immediately, and action can be taken before too much damage is done. And one more thing which I want to mention here is assisted marketplace. So what we try to offer, at least it's a new feature we have, is within our software, any customer of ours, if they have any water related requirements, say for example tomorrow they want to build a rainwater reservoir, they can just go onto a software and click for an inquiry, and the next day we'll route them to a person who does rainwater management, who builds rainwater reservoirs, who builds overhead tanks for rainwater. And for example, if someone wants a water auditing done, that can also be routed through our software. And that's how we can take it forward. So like I said, end-to-end water doesn't mean just monitoring. It means everything related to water. So a bit technical, how I would say is, all our water meters, all our sensors, let me just keep it as sensors, have the certain outputs that are required for IoT sensors to pick up data. So for example, if you see RS485 is an electronic output from where data is collected seamlessly, and it can be transmitted through our hardware system that we manufacture, and it moves to the Microsoft Azure cloud. So every piece of water data that any company has is completely secure through Microsoft Azure cloud. And we provide them with very interactive dashboards where they can play with, identify their consumption across multiple timelines, days, hours, months, minutes, etc. Maybe I have a zoomed in screenshot of the dashboard, which I'll show you soon. So as I already mentioned, water consumption management, I'll go through this quickly. Have IoT sensors at various locations and live data coming in, 24 hours of visualization of all your data. A complete water balancing diagram, which I'll show you an example of soon, which will actually help them with their compliance as well as their water positive initiatives. And finally, our AI system, which is actually getting better by the day, which can identify the consumption patterns based on the historical data, and we'll immediately give them analytics, and we'll consult them every month to identify difference in patterns, what their system is, whether there's a seasonal issue, anything. And now coming to this water quality management. So this From Fluxgen's POV, this has been installed mainly at the outlets of ETPs and STPs for CPCB compliance, as well as for them to manage their system. So they can't discharge water at a very high pH or a very high TDS. So these are the parameters that we can manage on a real-time basis. And we can immediately give you alerts, prescriptive alerts for you to take immediate action. And if required, say, for example, there is detection of microbes from a laboratory test. Chlorine dosing can be automated, or pH dosing can be automated when you have like two acidic and basic tanks, like an NaOH tank and a HCl tank. And we'll get an alert, and also it can be automated. Within seconds, you can just start a motor remotely. You can sit at home and, of course, that's not advised, but you can sit at home and easily remotely start a motor that will dose it with HCl in case it's too basic. And this, as I mentioned, it's a CGWA mandate to have a piezo sensor, which is basically a pressure sensor installed inside a borewell that's not being used. And this will help identify the water level under the ground in the aquifer or the stream that's flowing under your plant or under your building. And this is mandatory if you have more than 100 kiloliters of water being extracted per day. Finally, this is again something new that we've come up with. I wish Muthu sir was here to see this. This is a new water audit software that we've come up with. And if you're not aware of the procedure of a water audit for a factory or a building, the first thing that happens is the person who's conducting an audit will first come to your building and give you like this huge questionnaire where you have to fill up all details. What we've done is just made that digital. And it makes life easier, it makes your balancing easier. A full diagram can be done on a digital manner. And as I mentioned, data-driven systematic review. We can easily figure out whether there are issues with your existing system. And that is the best part. An auditor doesn't have to spend too much effort in going through the site and identifying specific points where there are issues. And this is how our dashboards look like. It can be made custom for any of our customers because the real challenge is actually going to the site and putting a flange on a pipe and installing the meters. But the software side of things can be easily customized, and anyone's thresholds can be set. And we've done this for industries, for buildings, and very recently 2 smart cities in India, one being Panjim in Goa, one being Dehradun. And in Dehradun, we've integrated a billing software within this dashboard itself, where each house's water data is being billed. And based on your billing, you can easily, it's foolproof. No one can tamper with it. As simple as that. And the same thing will come on your mobile, because in plants, if there's a plant manager going around, he can't take his laptop around. So having it on your mobile phone makes life convenient. Yeah, so as I mentioned, this is an example of a water balance chart. I just made it last night, but usually they're very custom for each type of industry. For example, a food factory will have a different type of chart where RO treatment comes before and things like that. So so what we can essentially do is have our system installed at each point, so that each point's parameters, mainly flow, mainly level, mainly pressure, and mainly quality, can be monitored and assessed, and finally ensure you go net zero or water positive within 3 months to a year or 2. So I'll just take you through a couple of case studies. So this is, I can't reveal the company's name, but they're a metals and mining plant. So they have a foundry and a mine right next to each other. This is in Odisha. So within a span of 3 months, we helped them reduce 20% by just not using AI at all. all we did was just keep a threshold for them to monitor every day. And with that itself, they were able to control their consumption and monitor it on a daily basis and identify their optimal working conditions. And to be specific, slag cooling is the place where they use the most water. So slag is required to be cooled so that they can pulverize it and send it to cement factories. Sure. I mean, it's almost done. So again, this is Lactalis. Lactalis is a French dairy company. Even for them, we reduced water consumption by 19%, which is equivalent to fill around 180 swimming pools, which are Olympic sized. So Olympic sized pool has around a capacity of 2.5 megaliters. So you can figure out how much by doing the math. And this is a case of a commercial building, a hospital. This is in Coimbatore, in Tamil Nadu, and we help them reduce their dependency on tanker water from 4 tankers to 2 tankers a day. And this was done not just by flow monitoring, but also helping them monitor their TDS. So the tanker water comes at a TDS of 300 to 400, and it took so much effort for them to bring it down to 40 to 90 TDS. And we helped them with TDS monitoring at the tank so that they could custom order the water from the tanker itself at a lower TDS to save on energy costs. So these are some of our customers. They're the main customers we've got. We have 108 customers to date, to be precise. And we are willing to obviously expand across India and the world. So I'm glad to announce that Narendra Modi ji, the Prime Minister of India, had mentioned our startup in his Mann Ki Baat. This happened last year in June. And I'd like to just quickly play this video. It's just a 15-second video. Yeah, and that's about it. Thanks for your time. We'd love to help everyone go water positive. That is our mission. So thanks a lot, all of you. And if anyone has any questions, you can ask me, or I'll provide you all with my contact. You can contact me anytime. Anyone has any questions?
So you can measure, apart from flow rate, the pH and other features?
Yeah, so we can easily do pH, TDS, BOD, COD. In fact, now you get DO sensors itself. You don't even need to measure BOD unless you want to specifically see COD and BOD's levels. You can directly just check DO sensors as well, and you'll get it real time.
And you are into this electrical energy monitoring systems as well?
So energy can be integrated similarly. It's very easy to do because if you go to any plant, you'll see they have like fancy ABB, Schneider panels and all. For that, it's very easy to integrate. A lot of companies are doing it. We focus only on water. Although it's very easy to do, we've done it for a few customers, but we stopped offering it as a service.
So you offer both electromagnetic flow meters as well as sensor based?
Yeah, electromagnetic, ultrasonic, and within ultrasonic, stainless steel, brass, steel. Yeah. So depending on your use case, after we do a site survey, we'll identify what is better for you. Sure. Okay, thanks all of you.
So thanks Mr. Bharadwaj for your excellent lecture.